Hi guys, my name is Christine, and today I'm talking about how to stay in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Okay, so this is some tips that I've learned over the years about manifesting and things like that I learned from Wayne Dyer and Neville Goddard. Now, there was a book that Dr. Wayne Dyer wrote called Wishes Fulfilled, and basically there is a lot of reference to Neville Goddard's work. I think his book, The Power of Awareness, and perhaps The Feeling is the Secret as well. And basically, what Dr. Wayne Dyer really does well in that book, Wishes Fulfilled, is explain a lot of Neville Goddard's teachings, but in a more, I guess you could say, less complex way. Because sometimes when you read Neville Goddard, it can seem a bit intense, and there's a lot of language there that is kind of a bit difficult to understand sometimes. I think because it's so precise, like you could study a sentence in a Neville Goddard book for ages, right? And you still might not get it, right? Whereas Dr. Wayne Dyer does a really good way of explaining his techniques and the wish fulfilled, staying in the wish fulfilled technique really well. So basically, I want to explain some of those things, and I'm also going to sprinkle in there some of my own experience with this, because recently I had an amazing experience where I managed to manifest something that I really, really wanted, and it was really cool, and it was really eye-opening as well. And I think sometimes if you've been struggling with manifesting or trying to create a life for yourself that you really want, it can get a little bit tiring, and sometimes you can even start disbelieving in things like the law of attraction and manifestation, things like that. So I'm going to give you some tips. So first of all, what is the feeling of the wish fulfilled? What is that? Right? So in my understanding, it is, staying in a state of mind, in a state of feeling where your wish or whatever it is what you're trying to manifest is already realized, and you feel really good about yourself, and you can see it very clearly in your mind when you're visualizing, and you just feel like what you are going to manifest is already here, and it's there for you, and it's happening, and if it's not happening right now, it's going to happen real soon. And being in that really accepting, receptive mode, the receptive mode, that Abraham Hicks talks about quite a lot. It's being in the receiving mode, so you can bring in basically what you want. So one of the most important things that you can do, right, is change your self-concept. And this is something that Wayne Dyer speaks a lot about in, he's got like a whole chapter on this basically, in Wishes Fulfilled. And it's one of the beginning chapters too. So you've got to change your self-concept, right? Because you might not have that much belief in yourself. You might not believe that you can manifest things. You might have tried to manifest things before and they haven't worked out for you. So basically you just need to believe, right? You need to change what you believe is possible for you, right? Because you might have a belief that you don't think that you're going to get these things or whatever it is that you're trying to attract. And if you don't believe it's possible for you, like if you can't see yourself doing it, then it's going to be very difficult actually for you to manifest it, and you won't be able to stay in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So you've got to change your self-concept. You've got to change who you believe you are, how you believe you can attract things into your life, right? So the way that you can do this, is, start, maybe writing down affirmations about like, okay, I am this, that, or the other, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, right? So one of the ways you can do that, you can meditate on it too. Maybe just taking some practice to just feel the wish fulfilled, like just imagine what it would be like if your manifestations became reality and how you would feel, and stay in that feeling. Now, I know it sounds very abstract, and I know it sounds a bit woo-woo, right? Like, but trust me, right? This has happened to me recently. I was able to get myself in a state where I really believed that I was going to get something, and I managed to stay in that positive, light-hearted state, and it actually happened for me, right? So I'm going to tell you something that I did that helped me do this, because even though manifesting, I believe in it, and I believe in the law of attraction and things like that, I also believe in taking action. So you've got to also make sure that you're taking action. So one of the actions that I took was actually not really like a physical action, it was a mental action. So what I did was, there's a guy on YouTube, and if you're into the law of attraction, if you've studied it, even just a tiny amount, you've probably come across this guy on YouTube. He's called Aaron Doughty, right? And he's got a meditation called like parallel reality, like enter a new parallel reality. It's about 20 minutes long. I think the meditation happens roughly around the 10-minute mark, because he goes through like an explanation first. And basically what I needed to start believing in myself, in being able to manifest this particular thing was, what I needed to pretend that I was entering a new reality. And in this parallel reality, I was in the reality where I got what I wanted. Now, again, I know that sounds really abstract, but that's how I got myself to believe. I pretended that I was shifting from an old reality into a new one, right? I was pretending I was going into a new reality, in a parallel reality where I got what I wanted, right? And that make-believe, that little game of just playing with my mind and just saying to myself, you know what, I've definitely entered this new reality, right? And it happened, right? Now, it didn't happen straight away because, I think sometimes, manifestation doesn't happen always instantly. Sometimes it can with different things, but most of the time, especially if it's something relatively big, sometimes it can take a while, but you've got to keep up the belief, basically. So what was really cool was after I had done that meditation, I think maybe for the first time as well, the first time I ever did that meditation, I fell asleep afterwards, right? And I had a dream, and in this dream, I was looking out of my window, and I could see frost on the ground, right? And, a few hours later, I was on TikTok and I was just scrolling. And sometimes when you're scrolling, sometimes you can come across a live. Well, I came across a live too, and it was like some psychic medium or a tarot card reader. And, sometimes if you just stay on it for a few seconds, you can hear what they're saying. And this tarot card reader said 15th of March, right? They said 15th of March. And I didn't really think too much about it. I was like, oh, maybe something will happen on the 15th of March. That was kind of weird how I was just scrolling and I was just looking at this clip for just 2 seconds, this live, and they said 15th of March. And I kept on scrolling, getting on with my life, basically. And on the day that the thing that I wanted manifested, there was frost on the ground, and it was the 15th of March. And that day, I got what I wanted. And it was really scary, right? So, and I think it took me about a week and a half to be able to manifest this. It wasn't like a huge thing, because basically what I needed to do was I really wanted to win a case, basically, because an injustice had happened to me. And basically, yeah, so I really wanted to win this case. It wasn't like a huge thing, it wasn't massive, it was just a tiny thing. But I manifested it by doing that, by pretending I'd entered that parallel reality. So I highly recommend you go and check out that Aaron Doughty meditation, because that really helped me. But whatever helps you, right? Whatever helps you believe, right? What helped me believe was I pretended that I entered a new reality where everything was fine and I was going to get exactly what I wanted, right? And sometimes you need to play tricks on your brain to get yourself to believe sometimes, I think, right? So basically get whatever it takes for you to believe. Perhaps you do a meditation on becoming rich, and you say to yourself before you take this meditation, by the end of this meditation, I'm going to become rich. It may not happen today, but at some point, because I've done this meditation, I'm going to become rich. Or maybe that you just write down a bunch of affirmations and think to yourself, okay, I wrote down what I want to manifest 15 times. And because I've wrote it down 15 times, that means it's now programmed into my subconscious mind, and basically it's just going to start happening for me. Okay, so you need to change your self-concept somehow, right? Whatever works for you. Maybe you need to play a trick on your brain, right, to help you get there, to be able to get you to stay in that feeling of, yes, I'm going to get what I want. Staying in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Okay. Now, just a disclaimer with this as well, it's really important as well that you take action. If you just sit around and meditate all day, it's unlikely, right, that you're going to get what it is that you want. So you do need to take action. So let's say you want to make a YouTube channel and you want to have 1 million subscribers. Well, in order to do that, you need to make videos, right? Or if you're a blogger, perhaps you have to write blog posts. Or perhaps you've got a business, you need to get a website, you need to get your products going, whatever it is that is going on for you. You need to take action, right? You need to market your product or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve for yourself, whatever you're trying to manifest, right? You need to take action, okay? But what I'm saying here as well, though, is that the action should be inspired action. The action should feel good. The action should make you feel really excited. The action should be something that just makes you feel super, super good and just makes you feel really nice about yourself. It shouldn't be things that make you feel really horrible and sluggish, right? Even though sometimes that kind of thing is necessary, sometimes it can feel like a bit of a grind. So what you need to do then is you just need to take a minute. If it feels like it's turning to a bit of a grind, if it feels like it's turning into something tedious, just take a moment, listen to some inspirational music, get yourself in a better mood, and then take action. Because if you take action when you're kind of in like one of these horrible states and you just feel sluggish and you're bored and you're irritated and everything just feels tedious, then the action that you're going to take is not going to be very powerful. So if you can get yourself into a good mood, the action that you take is going to be like super powerful, okay? Right? It's going to be super good, okay? So that those are my tips for how to stay in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. I highly recommend you go and check out that book, Wishes Fulfilled by Dr. Wayne Dyer, especially if you would like something a little bit more clearer than Neville Goddard's work. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. And I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.